What's going on, geeks? You listen to episode 322 of the Geeks Under Grace podcast. My name is Cody Armour. I'm here with Shelley Nollan.
Hello.
And Lj.Lowery.
Yo, you just jumped right up in there. That was awesome.
Yeah, we were like mid-conversation, and I just kind of drifted into the podcast.
That was amazing.
This week, we're geeking out about finally being excited for Pokemon. Sequels to sequels that we haven't seen yet or have even been released. And Dragon Prince. There's no funny one-liners here because I'm genuinely that excited for Dragon Prince.
Cody's like, no joking
yes,
here. It's
sir.
go time.
Yeah. All seriousness. Dragon Prince. We've waited so long.
I don't have to wait very long since I just watched it like this year, so.
Yeah, it's true.
So
Shelley and I have waited years.
I know.
Feel like decades. First, before we get it, it's literally the last thing we're talking about. Just about.
Was the decades thing a time jump joke?
Oh, it wasn't, but that's clever. Yeah.
Anyway.
We'll talk about it in a little bit. We have to wait. There's no time jumps in the podcast. We got to do gaming first. I've just been playing Cyberpunk, and I really don't have an update. It's just plugging along. I will say I'm playing way more side quests in this game than I ever do. I always jump side quests.
That's like The Witcher. The best parts of The Witcher are the side quests.
And I V-line that whole story. I just
Dang.
went straight for the story, no side quests. I have a friend who he was the one who told me to play the game. It's one of his favorite games of all time. And he was like, let me just look at where you're at. And he did. And my map was full of question marks. And he was like, this hurts me so much. He was like, you realize that some of these go away if you don't go to them later on in the story. And I was like, I don't know what to tell you. I'm captivated. Whereas Cyberpunk, they kind of do a cool thing where the story seems to be in 3 different kind of branches as of right now. And I don't even know if I'm reading that correctly or if I've just been doing so many side quests that it feels like that. But I've just been doing the side quests and leveling up, and I kind of know the ending a little bit now, unfortunately, and so I'm trying to drag it on as long as possible.
I still have yet to find out how that is really going to end, but yes, they put a certain pressure on you at some point.
Yeah. I don't want to give anything away, but GameScoop kind of gave it away one day. And
okay.
No.
Yeah, oh, don't do that. That was rude. They were talking about the DLC coming out.
Oh, okay.
So, I'm playing it. I'm enjoying it. It's fun. What have you been playing, LJ?
I've been on multiplayer stuff, in between Fortnite, which I have 12 wins this season, which is pretty awesome. This I checked out because of the Overwatch 2 stuff, because it literally took days for Overwatch 2 to even, get running. So this this has already happened in the realm of news, but when Overwatch came out, Blizzard got DDoSed, and it messed up a bunch of things, and a lot of people couldn't even play for the first couple days it was out, up until
Yikes.
Thursday. Yeah, so now I can actually play Overwatch 2. But the game I checked out while I was still waiting to play is called Shatterline. It is a first-person shooter that's got multiplayer and a cool cooperative mode called Expedition. It really feels like Apex and Call of Duty had a baby, because it's got a hero shooter element that Apex kind of has, to where you have 2 abilities and an ultimate, and there's literally competitive modes that are like Call of Duty, that are pretty fun. It's very snappy. I keep making references to Call of Duty because you can even get attachments for your guns and stuff like that. The mode that I think I really want people to check out is Expedition. And you basically play, I don't know if it's up to 4. I know the squad I had was 3. And I just jumped into a game randomly the other day. Right. And so it's got a roguelike mode, to where you start off and pick 1 power up or 1 gun or whatever. And then you go to the next point and complete an objective or whatever. And when you complete that objective, you get another drop, and you get to unlock another perk or another weapon or so. And it's really fun. It's really got an addictive kind of thing, to where you're okay, let's push, keep trying to push, or you can be okay,
satisfying gameplay loop a little bit there.
It's
cool.
okay, and then it's okay, well, how are we feeling now? Do you want to extract with all of our stuff? You know, like, and you can unlock a lot of stuff just by playing free to play. You don't necessarily need the battle pass. You can level up your weapons, unlock attachments, unlock better tiers for more weapons. So it really feels, it's one of those games where I don't feel like I have to spend a penny yet. And the battle pass, I'm sure, is like cosmetics and stuff. It was really nice considering, like, oh, here's this other big game that's riding the struggle bus right now, trying to even launch, while here's a game that's still in early access on Steam. That's quite fun, and I'm hoping that eventually, like, it can make it to consoles and stuff, because I'm like, oh, this has potential right here. So yeah, it's called Shatterline. Pretty fun game. My favorite character is this guy. He's got a little robot. I think his like call sign is called Pill. But he has a robot that instantly, like, if you throw him out, he'll instantly go and revive your teammates. So you don't even have to really worry about going to pick anybody up. You can just keep fighting and like staying in battle, and like it'll just revive your allies whenever they go down for a short time. But yeah, I've also been playing Overwatch 2. Overwatch 2 is very solid. I like the 5v5 stuff. It feels like some of the more like gunfights and encounters I've had are a bit more personal. To where, like, Overwatch, the original Overwatch is just like, oh crap, there's just 6 people, everybody's firing off their specials and ultimates. Like, I have no idea what's going on here. Whereas Overwatch 2, like, I can be like Widowmaker and have like straight up a sniper duel against like another Widowmaker while everybody else is trying to push, or, you know, like, it's really neat.
Cool.
I do like the 5v5. Like, it's kind of crazy to think, like, competitive Overwatch teams definitely somebody's player got fired, you know, like, because it's like he goes from 6 to 5, so it's like it's kind of crazy to think about. It's kind of crazy to think about, like, those esports teams are now down 1 member, so it's like
I didn't even think about that.
And so that's where I kind of feel like, oof, like, this is cool, but it's like, wow, like, you know, somebody lost a job, you know.
Yeah, it's like it's like, why?
Yeah,
you know, like,
yeah, like, I was fine with the 6v6 still too, like, but I'm just like, that's like, why? So the composition is 2 supports, 1 tank, and 2 DPS. And I found it funny that because you can queue for whatever role you want to play, and so last time I played, they had XP Battle Pass bonus for supports and for just queuing for all, because it's like, I'm like, oh, well, obviously you're going to give the XP bonus to the class that nobody wants to play, you know, like, or the one that nobody wants to queue for, because, like, I'm a support person only because, like, everybody else wants to play DPS or tank most of the time. So, but I mean, I enjoy it. Battle Pass stuff seems like it's not hard to progress through. Yeah, I don't know. I like it. I know there's people that are going to have problems with it and have problems with Blizzard and all that stuff still too, which I get that. For me, I just hope there's some genuinely good people that are working for that company right now, and I just hope things are getting better there. So that's kind of where I'm at with all that. Yeah.
What about you, Shelley?
I haven't been playing anything new. I've just been playing more Minecraft.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll get bored with it soon. It always happens. But yeah, I don't know. We've just been. We got a bigger house. We just built a nice storage area. I built a nicer way to get into the mines. The mines are still pretty scary. There's just so many mobs. Yeah, I don't really have anything more to say about that, though. It's Minecraft. Minecraft is Minecraft.
Yeah. Well, until you mod it.
Right, yeah, but I'm playing on modded. I've played it modded before, but yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Modded Minecraft is definitely something else.
Yeah.
That reminds me of, like, I guess it's a separate game, but I saw a TikTok video the other day of somebody playing Rainbow Six Siege inside of Roblox. And I'm like, this is
no
nuts.
way.
I'm like, this is crazy. Like, people.
I assume we've gotten Doom in Minecraft, right? Have someone?
Oh, probably. Ooh, it's not in the news. I didn't put this in the news, obviously, but somebody got Doom running in Notepad.
I heard about that. That's crazy.
I saw the video. I'm like, what?
Oh my gosh.
That's so funny.
But yes, no, I'm sure somebody's probably made Doom in Minecraft, and if so, I would play Minecraft again if I found out about it.
Yeah, I want it like giant screen.
Oh, like an actual just playing Doom the game inside. Oh, because
Yeah, like I want someone to program using Minecraft bricks.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised because you can literally run a Game Boy in Minecraft.
Yeah, so you just make Doom play on
that'd be epic
Game
too.
Boy, and then play the Game Boy.
I just want the world's largest like screen playing Doom in Minecraft. I'd like that too.
That's amazing. So good. That would be cool. Or you could just play Doom, literally anywhere.
That too.
Else.
Go play
on a
it's
toaster
like
if you
cheap.
wanted. Yeah.
Yep. It's on Game Pass.
We can get into the gaming news then. Speaking of Game Boys, no one's gonna get that. People are gonna be like, "What? What does that have to do with Game Boys?"
Pokemon and the slow evolution of Pokemon.
Yes. For those who don't know, Pokemon came out on Game Boy, original Game Boy, I think, back in the day.
That just kind of blew my mind that like there are people in this world that weren't born when the original Pokemon.
Oh, like you mean it wasn't based off a TV show?
Well, that too, yeah. Dang. Yeah. So we got a new Pokemon trailer for what was it, Scarlet, Violet, something. I don't remember the names of these.
Red and purple.
Yes, Scarlet.
Yes. Definitely go with the purple one.
Yeah.
So this new trailer actually looks awesome. It's like a full showcase of like what you're going to be, how the game is played. I caught bits and pieces of it. I kind of skimmed through the 14 minutes. But here's the way you catch my interest is that you give the player a camera and just let them run around in the open world. And I'm like, oh, they might get me over the dang camera. But also, it genuinely looks fun to play. I think they said you're gonna be able to play co-op too, right? Like team up. Like, I don't remember that in this video per se.
Yeah, there's like raids or something. Right?
Yeah, I have to look at that.
I think up to 4 people.
Yeah, they're similar to raids. You fight this like thing to terastalizes, I think that's the term, and then you can like team up with some other people. But what you could do is like you could fight with your Pokemon, or you could like shout to like buff them. So that's like it looks similar to raids. Like then you can catch the Pokemon by the end of it.
I want it to be a thing where you can just drop in and drop out with other people. Like that'd be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, it looks fun. Then they got the new evolutions. What's the name of the new?
Farigiraf! Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I love Farigiraf. I am so happy.
It's such a like it looks like it's wearing like a costume or something.
A little hood. Like I need
Yeah, is it supposed to be astronaut-esque or no?
I need the Pokemon company.
It looks like a chain chomp to me, like that it's like
it looks like both.
Too.
Which I love. But I need the Pokemon company, I need the Pokemon Center to make a hoodie that has like that hood that you can just put on yourself, awesome. And then it's like, kind of like, the black, and they have the eyes with the teeth, and then it fades into the, the orange on the bottom.
That would replace your onesie easy.
Yeah, I would want that so bad. That'd be amazing. I don't know if they would actually do it, but
that'd be awesome.
Etsy could. But I'm so happy about it because Girafarig is great, but has just been shafted for so long. I mean, Giraffe's my favorite animal. So that's like kind of why I'm just like, I think, Girafarig is pretty great. But unfortunately, I don't even know like any other games he's in besides the Johto games. I'm sure he's in other ones. It's just like, people just forget about him. Honestly, I did too because Pokemon, the company, and Game Freak will just forget about Pokemon. You'll just never see them again.
Those mid-tier ones that, like,
What's cool about Girafarig, at least, the one thing it has as a psychic type is that it's a psychic normal type, so it doesn't get any sort of, like, it can fight against ghost types and not get affected by the ghost, It immediately takes away, like, one advantage type that usually, psychic gets punished by. But, man, I love this new evolution. I think it looks so cool. I'm just really hyped about it, and people have been saying how this combined with Legends Arceus has been really a kind of a godsend for these really kind of forgotten Johto Pokemon, and just giving them a cool evolution of some kind. So I'm pretty happy about that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Very happy about this game.
Kind of having
general.
everybody a little nostalgic for some of the old favorites.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a sandwich simulator in this game. Like, come on. Which is like the new food mechanic. I mean, there's always a food mechanic, right? At least there has been for a while now. I think ever since the Hone games, but maybe even before that. Yeah, like Ruby and Sapphire, you had like the cubes. But that's cool. I think that's very fun.
Random.
People are getting really existential though, because it shows you putting on a ham. But there's a new Pokemon called Lechonk in the game. That's a pig, and you could give the sandwich to your Pokemon. So does that mean, is ham made from Lechonk, can you cannibalize with Lechonk?
That's dark.
Yeah, so that's kind of funny.
Wow.
This game looks really good though, because I think what's cool too is that this trailer, it's like a 14-minute long trailer. It's big. And stuff that they show off too is that, they've already talked about the gym thing, how you can just go to any gym you want. There's not really a set path in which you need to complete the gyms like most Pokemon games. Like, you kind of have to do them in a certain order. So in this game, that's still the case, but there's also some other things you could do. Like, I think there's like 3 main quests. And one of them is gym. One of them is fighting these Titans, I believe. I don't remember the third one already, but I think there was like 2 or 3 like different main goals you can have in the game, and I think that's pretty fun. There's lots of customizable options. I can speak with your character, which is great. It's great for just inclusivity too. Like, there's so much of like, for a while, like, you can only play as a guy in Pokemon games, and they finally added the girl option. And now I'm just really happy that they're finally getting the option where it's like choosing boy or girl really isn't as important, because you could just make yourself look however you want, which is really affirming to a lot of people, which I'm super pumped about. And you could just change your outfit, change your eye, change your hair. Like, you should always be able to do that, and I like that that's becoming more of a standard in these games and becoming more accessible.
More customization.
I think that's always better, and so I'm pretty hyped about that. You can take selfies with your Pokemon, you can take pictures. That's like so cool, so cute. You can even take pictures with your Pokemon Legends Arceus, but like in one building, like it was very separated.
Definitely more advanced.
Yeah, which I think is cool. I also like there's it showed off a new fighting sort of feature, I guess. I don't know. You can send out your Pokemon to just fight another Pokemon, and you could just let them go, and they just like take care of it. And
so like an auto, it's kind of like a pseudo auto battle system.
Yeah, which I think is great. I think it's gonna make grinding way easier, way more fun, more interesting, and just less exhausting of just running it. Just way more efficient, right? It's just gonna make it way more efficient even from the get go. You're not having to spend like all that time in animations when it's going da 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 and like opening up in the grass, and you're just like, oh, what is it? It's like you see a Pokemon over yonder, you're like, oh, that's a little weakling. Hey, Quaxley, go beat up that guy, and he's like, okay, and then he's like goes beat him up, and then get that experience. So obviously it doesn't replace the like classic Pokemon turn-based battles. Like, that's obviously still a thing, but I think it's cool that they're throwing this in there too. So I don't know, I'm just really, I have not been this excited about a mainline Pokemon game since Omega Ruby, I believe. And Omega Ruby, I very much was excited for that, mostly because it's nostalgia, because I played Pokemon Ruby so much, right?
Oh, yeah.
So that's kind of unprecedented for me that I'm actually this excited. And obviously, for a giraffe might be there might be some connection there. But either way, I think this is pretty easily looks better than Sword and Shield. Again, Sword and Shield had like those, open air areas that they were like trying the whole, open world kind of. Exactly. And then they took it a step further with Legends Arceus. It looks like there may be, I don't even know if necessarily a step further with this game. I think a step further in the terms of like open world in a mainline game, of course. I don't actually know if you can like sneak up on Pokemon and stuff in this game. I don't know if I've seen footage of that. So I think I've seen mostly Pokemon where they're just there and they're just standing there, then you can run up and battle them. Or again, do like the little thing where you send your Pokemon out instead. So that's a little disappointing. I don't know if that's going to be a thing. I hope it is, but I don't know. But either way, I think it's I'm hoping it's good. I don't know. You never really know with these games. It could always look prettier. It does still disappoint me looking at this game, and looking at the open world like graphics, and then comparing it to like Xenoblade Chronicles 1 or 2, or the one on the Wii U.
Wild. Oh man, if Monolith and Game Freak partnered for one of these things, it'd be huge.
Yeah, it's just like it's just a little disappointing on that aspect. Just again, knowing that the Pokemon Company and that Pokemon franchise is like the most profitable, prolific franchises in the world. It's just a little disappointing remembering that aspect and then looking at the world and being like, oh, it could be like way prettier, way more interesting. But unfortunately, with Pokemon fans, we have to take what we can get, and at least they're taking steps in the right direction, in my opinion. I don't think they're going backwards. Forwards. At least with this game. So that's my rant.
Cool.
Yeah. So the next piece of news is we got a release date for Persona 3 and 4, which
finally
after 5, I believe.
Finally. Yeah. So excited. I was hoping this year, but it's okay. I can wait till January.
Yeah, I think in January is coming quick. It'll be here before you know it.
Absolutely.
I'm glad I didn't grab Persona 4 on PC because I really want that on my Switch to kind of recapture like when I played on my Vita.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
yeah.
I can just see like myself sitting on the couch on the weekend watching football and grinding out some Persona.
It's like fun. I've heard it's fun on like Steam Deck for the exact same reason.
I bet. Yeah. But then I'm trying to decide because I have the Persona 3 version that was on like it was the PS2 version that was on PS3, and so it's like, should I play this P3P version or should I just go back to that one? But either way, like, I'm glad that these are coming out because these are like huge JRPG exceptions for me. So I'm happy more people are going to get to play them.
Yeah, and it's like perfect timing after I just beat Golden, and now it's gonna be like, okay, cool, I get like a nice break, and then I'm gonna be able to go back into Persona 3. And I've heard lots of arguments on like what's the better version of Persona 3? Is it Fez or is it the portable version, which is what we're gonna get?
I think FES is the one that I played.
Yeah, so it's from what it sounds like, they're really not putting any sort of remake aspects to it at all, or like trying to combine those features. Yeah. It sounds like it really is just going to be a port. But I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I'm going to get it, obviously. So it's just, it's a matter of like, do I want, if it's an experience designed for portable, maybe it is worth it to get it on Switch just for that too. Who knows? Not me. I don't know.
Yeah, because that was a PSP title, I believe.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, so that's exciting. More Persona, which is never a bad thing. And then kind of the odd one here is Need for Speed Unbound got announced. And it's coming out quick. It's coming out in December. And it's got a cool art style, I think. It's like cel-shaded.
Different. I always think of Need for Speed, I think like hyper-realistic.
Yeah.
Well, graphically, I should say,
like
obviously.
Forza, or like,
and it's like, the previous one I played, Need for Speed Heat, it wasn't, I liked it, and it was kind of a step in the right direction, but this one, I would love to see, like, I know the characters are, like, definitely comic book style, like, it keeps getting compared to, like, anime, but to me, it's more just, like, cel-shaded comic booky. It's got, like, they're calling it, like, urban art style or something, so, like, I hope they kind of go for, like, a graffiti, like, cel-shaded look. Like, it would be neat if, like, when you're drifting or doing stuff in your car or even, like, boosting, if it had some of those cel-shaded effects on it instead of just it being the characters or whatever.
Something
or
kind
even
of
in the environment.
out of it.
Yeah. Or even in the environment they could do that. Like, I know that they probably want the cars to look, realistic and all that, or somewhat realistic, but I feel like they should lean into that style a little more. Because then you can start going for like almost like an initial D, like inspiration or whatever. I'm curious to see what this is going to be. I don't think they've showed anything super in depth about it yet, but I also kind of like that it wasn't announced like way earlier this year. I kind of like that they chose like a few months out, like just to be like, hey, this is out. You'll get to play it in 2 months. I'm curious to see what it's going to be like, because I'm always interested to see like what a racing game does, especially like after Forza and all that, and I like to see how they kind of differentiate themselves from one another. So it'll be cool to see what this one does.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
My last Need for Speed that I really got into, I downloaded one of them not so long ago, but Underground 2 was like my or Most Wanted, not Underground. Most Wanted.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the BMW.
Underground 2 was my jam, and then yeah.
I'm glad Underground is a thing. I thought about that, and I'm like, am I thinking Tony Hawk?
No, it was a very weird time because both of them came to PS2 and GameCube and
very
Xbox
different games.
And like, yeah, but they were both called Underground, and then Underground was the whole Fast and the Furious craze, where like street racing was like a big fad as far as like movies and video games and stuff at the time too. So
yeah, I remember one of the Street Fighter games. They literally made it like a video game. Like they had like a HUD system on the cars. With the mini map and everything.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember which one it was. Doesn't matter.
One of the Fast and Furious ones. It was probably Tokyo Drift.
Maybe. Yeah, I can't remember. Or it was a big deal though. It was like, oh, it's turned out of a video game. It's so cool.
Yep.
Well, we will get into the movie news movies that we've been watching, and I didn't really see a movie, but I'm gonna put it in the movie slot, I guess. And that is Werewolf by Night. I don't know what you want to call it. It's a
we
TV
could call
special.
that like a Halloween. It's a TV special, I guess.
I didn't realize that was out.
That fits movies.
There was an article that called it a movie, and I was like, well, that works for me.
It kind of fits. It is an hour long. I mean, and it is its own thing.
It almost seemed too short. It was a lot of fun. I wish there were a bit more to it, because it feels very like, I don't know, like quick. I was like, oh, it's done already. That's all we're getting.
Things do move fast, because I remember I only watched about 30 minutes of it like late the other night, and then I was like, it was extremely late, but I got through about half of it, and I really enjoyed what I watched so far.
It totally could have been like a 4-part movie series, and probably like they could have still, it wouldn't have felt drawn out. But I don't know. I found it to be a lot of fun. There was a lot of like news articles about it being really gory, and it's not like horror gory, which I thought was interesting. The beginning is a little bit, but there's like, it's Marvel, so there's like a fight scene, and someone takes like a sword to the face, and you just see it, which is like super odd for Marvel stuff,
especially Disney Plus. So,
right?
You know,
but kind of keep that in mind, and like that's. You don't be worried about the gore if you're someone who is like, man, I don't want to see like Saw from Marvel. It's not that kind of gore stuff going on.
Marvel, I don't think they'll ever take it that far. They might try to walk some lines, but they won't. I don't think they'll ever take it that far.
Yeah, it's still very much Disney Marvel Plus. And what you could expect from Marvel to do. I don't think it's any more gory than Doctor Strange's Multiverse of Madness stuff, honestly.
See, even that for some people was
yeah, was a little too gory. So yeah, I don't think that this is more than that by any means. Really appreciated the black and white stuff. I thought that was cool. I have a lot of questions. That's, I think, why maybe it feels too fast. I have more questions than answers from this episode, and we don't know when we'll get any of those answers, or if we will get any of those answers. It could have just been
because it's kind of a one-off.
Yeah, one-off fun thing.
It's crazy because we almost expect it to be connected to something, But I'm
okay
with it not
They've set the precedent. Of like everything is connected some way, somehow.
But it is cool though that they get into certain comic book stuff that I'm like, ooh, all right, I didn't know that this wasn't even going to be referenced. Like
yeah.
I mean, I didn't know much about Werewolf by Night anyway, or even like because it's just a random character that Moon Knight fights like early on, But they do get into some other Marvel stuff in this that I think is cool.
Yeah, some of the stuff is a little confusing. I don't want to get too much into that stuff. I feel like if we do get answers, it'll probably be a Midnight Suns situation.
This, if anything, is kind of, I feel like, is a good stepping stone for a Midnight Suns kind of thing.
Yeah. I wish that we maybe got a few more connections in that sense. Like I said, there's just a lot of questions that this came about with, but I don't know. I totally thought the main character, I totally thought the Werewolf by Night, I should say, was the guy from like Rick Flag Is that his name in what's it called? Suicide Squad? Yeah, and the guy from Altered Carbon, like same actor, and it's not at all. That was really, really weird. It's in black and white, so you can't they're not even the same ethnicity. But I just had no idea until he started talking, and I was like, "Is that him?" They could be twins in black and white. It's kind of crazy. And then the woman who would be the main character, she looks a lot like Jessica Jones in black and white, but doesn't in real life. So we thought maybe she was Jessica Jones for a minute, and I was like, they would have heard about it.
I love that they went hard with the black and white style. I love it.
Laura Donnelly, that's her name.
They made a good style choice there.
Yeah, I can't believe that they that was after 3 drafts before they decided to do that. I can't imagine this being good without the black and white. I feel like it would have seemed kind of cheesy if not.
Yeah.
Because the black and white makes it cheesy, but okay, makes the cheesiness okay. I feel like.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Harks back to those old 50s.
The old horror movies. Yep.
Yeah. It reminded me of old horror movies. Reminded me of really classic Doctor Strange or Doctor Who. In some ways, just in its kind of campy TV movie-ness.
It also made me want to watch Van Helsing again, which is apparently something I do every year in the last couple of years now.
Like Hugh Jackman's Van Helsing?
Yes.
Nice.
It's that movie's so cheesy. This kind of made me want to be like, oh, I should go back and watch it again. It's that time of year.
It is a good movie. But yeah, I guess I'll end it there. I don't want to get too far into the lore and stuff, but definitely some questions arising.
It's definitely a treat, not a trick.
Yeah. Good. Shelley, what movies have you watched?
So with it being October, I thought maybe now's the time we can watch some scarier movies.
Yeah.
I usually go with the cheesy Halloween sort of movies, but neither my husband nor I had watched American Psycho, and it's not a Halloween movie, I understand, but it's
that's a heavy
kind
one.
of. Yeah, I don't know. It's we know all the memes. It's such a culturally important movie. I don't know if important is really the right word. Significant, I should say. So many people have seen it. So and I was on my list, and my husband and I were just like, yeah, let's watch it. It's a really freaking good movie.
It is.
Wish I had saw it earlier.
I love the business card thing.
Oh my gosh. The memes were really funny because, it doesn't actually give away any parts of the story.
No,
I still had no idea what... I just was, every once in a while when I saw, a recognizable meme, this is what's happening, or, and so that was kind of, funny. It's it's not a funny movie, but it is a funny movie in that way. It
probably eased some of that for you guys, I think.
Did. We were just waiting for the, why isn't it possible?
Heavy,
it's just not, why not? But honestly, if anything, I just left being even more impressed with Christian Bale. I'm like, I've already been really impressed with Christian Bale as an actor. I always thought he was really freaking good. But, that movie in particular, oh my gosh, so well acted. I'm like, that's how you do it. That's crazy. The way he, very consistently talked, very consistently had these, things he was doing. Man, it was crazy. Yeah, it's a really good movie. I know I'm so behind. Movie came out in 2000,
but that's cool that you did branch out and try something.
I know I'm so bad, and it's so funny because the day after we watched 17 again, which is much more my style of movie, kind of cheesy. It's not actually a Disney Channel movie, but it has Zac Efron stuff. 17 again is one of my favorite movies, actually, but it's not necessarily a good movie. So yeah, as far as watching actual cinematic masterpieces like American Psycho, I would say arguably is. Yeah, that's not usually what I do, but it's really good.
Just even something that does edge on more R and more scary and more horror.
Oh, it's so R, yeah, it is. But I think what was interesting is that it was so rated R mostly for the sexual stuff and nudity and things like that, which that's fine, that's expected. But I actually found it really interesting that when actual murder was happening,
yes, it was more creative than the rating.
Exactly, yeah. You don't actually see most of that happen. A lot of stuff he does doesn't even show up in the movie.
It's off
and I
screen
thought,
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and I actually really respected that. And I'm just like, man, that's something movies nowadays don't do. A lot of, like, especially horror movies nowadays,
Ooh, let's see it
pride
happen.
themselves.
Like,
pride themselves on being like, no, we want the viewer to see this, like, terrible thing happening. We want to see the, like, gruesome. And I hate gore. I hate it. Yeah, I hate torture porn. I hate porn in general. I hate all of that. I hate like, gore.
The term
I hate,
is, you know.
I hate all of that. And so the fact that this movie didn't really have any of that, like, was very surprising and, like, refreshing, because I just feel like anytime I would want to watch, like, even like kind of remotely scary nowadays, like in movies, it's like they're always gonna show you that, and I don't really want to see that. And I thought that it's like, for, you know, and I think even the way it was presented in the movie, it's like, you know, the murder itself wasn't even necessarily the point. It's like, it's still Patrick Bateman. It's still about him, so they're gonna show him instead. So I don't know. Pretty good movie.
That's good.
But yeah,
that's awesome.
That's what I watched. Yeah.
And then LJ, you haven't seen any movies this week?
No, just the half of Werewolf by Night.
Cool. We'll get into the movie news then. Go ahead, Shelley.
Yeah, so we're gonna start off with just two somewhat coincidental Gal Gadot related news.
Oh yeah,
I didn't realize.
Yeah,
we were in the notes. I had no idea.
It's
That's
both
funny.
about Gal Gadot, and they're both about just being way too invested in your franchise before you know if it's going to pay off. So the first thing is about Wonder Woman. So obviously that's what she's really known for. Gal Gadot right now is like playing Wonder Woman. Patty Jenkins, the director, has mentioned that, you know, even though the third movie, which I didn't even know there was going to be a third movie, by the way, but there's going to be a third movie because I think it's mostly done writing. They're going to start filming in 2023. So they haven't even started filming for this. But she's already mentioned how, you know, I think it was just in an interview, she sort of mentioned how she's like, yeah, like, you know, originally it was just going to be one, and they thought, oh, well, maybe it needs to be two. Well, now maybe it needs to be a trilogy. But now, even before the third one's even done yet, I'm even having ideas for, like, what could happen after that. Or, like, I don't really want to be done with the story, but, like, I don't know. It's not really in my power. It's not her saying, like, it's going to happen, but it is her saying that, like, she'd still be willing to work on Wonder Woman and keep going and keep going. And I just don't know if that's a good idea or not, because 1989, that's what it was.
Yeah, 80-something.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Wonder Woman
84,
2, yeah. 84, my bad, not 89. Was not good. Yeah, it was not a good movie, and I just think they're putting... And again, she's... In the interview itself, it didn't sound like she was, like, banking on it or anything. She was more just saying that she has ideas for it, but, like, I honestly would hope that if they're making a third movie, that it really ends in a trilogy, and that it doesn't, like... They don't keep trying to milk that cow, but who knows? It's Hollywood. They probably will. It's very likely.
I find it interesting that, like, Rogue Squadron, because she was supposed to do Rogue Squadron, is not even in the Star Wars, like, upcoming, like, timeline anymore. I think that's also because they said they want to focus on shows rather than movies right now, which is cool too. But it's just like, oof, like, I feel like Wonder Woman 84 was bad enough to where they went like, oh, maybe not.
Exactly, yeah. So I don't know. Makes me a little bit nervous, but again, it's, you know, it's not really up to her as a director either. It's up to...
She just went too hard in, like, a Linda Carter era direction. So, like, it was, like, super cheese that didn't fit, like, a, you know, like a movie, like a modern movie.
Yeah.
That would have worked in the Linda Carter days, the whole plot line and kind of how everything was resolved, but...
Right.
Just didn't work for the sequel.
Yeah, I don't know. Just because of how Wonder Woman 2 went, I'm nervous about a third one, and I'd be even more nervous about a fourth one.
I think everybody is.
So that being said, that's Wonder Woman, but we have Red Notice as well, which Gal Gadot is also in. So apparently, Red Notice is not only getting a sequel, it's getting one even after that. It's getting 2 sequels. It's pretty much confirmed at this point they're getting a second and a third, which is, like, crazy to me. I'm like, well, I didn't watch the first movie, or I didn't watch Red Notice, I guess is what I should say, because there's only one right now. But from what I heard, you know, from you guys and from others, I heard it was, like, you know, a fine movie, kind of mid, but like fine, like not bad. But it's also like, again, do they really need to be putting all their time and money into just creating more of these? Like, is there much more content they can make from this? More interesting things? Or do they just want to, like, have their hand on these really talented actors and just keep making them do stuff?
My issue is that by the end of the movie, it just becomes a regular, like, action movie.
Gotcha.
Like, I feel like at least you had the uniqueness of, like, The Rock versus Ryan Reynolds kind of thing. And then, oh, here's Gal Gadot. Like, to me, I thought that was interesting to have this, like, ensemble cast, like, going up against each other. And, like, you know, that was the concept of it. But then there's the way that movie goes, it's like, it ends up feeling just like a normal, like, action movie. And it doesn't really have any, like, unique aspects at that point. So it's like, I feel like the sequels probably won't either.
I think you're probably right.
Yeah.
It just seems kind of like, I don't know. If there was just, if this was just news on like, oh, Red Nose is getting a sequel, it's kind of be like, okay, sure, yeah, that's fine. But the fact that it's like, they're already planning a second and third, again, I'm just kind of like, you're putting too many eggs in this basket. Like, you don't even know how this next movie's gonna go. You only have the information from this first one. It's like, again, even from hearing from you guys, again, people would just watch Red Notice. I didn't think it sounded like there was any sort of desire to have more. So, like, are people even gonna watch a sequel? I don't know. Let alone 2 sequels.
I enjoyed the first one, but I never expected a sequel out of it, and I don't think.
It was really good on its own. I think sequels seem money grubby.
Yep.
I agree with that. So anyway, that's our 2 coincidental too many sequels and Gal Gadot crossover news. Now we can move on to probably what everyone has already watched this week and everyone's already been paying attention to on Twitter and YouTube and everything. The Super Mario Bros. Movie trailer that finally got released. It's not super long. It's still pretty short. What do you guys think?
I loved it until Mario spoke, and I really like Chris Pratt a lot. I love everything he's in. I wanted this to be a high budgeted Mario cutscene, Super Mario Bros. Cutscene, and it is until he speaks, and then it's just like, ugh. I would have. A lot of people I've seen that are like in support of Chris Pratt are like, well, it would have gotten annoying if we would have heard that voice the entire time, like Charles Martinet.
Yeah.
And I get that, but he could have you could have had everyone speak around him and him still be the focal point. And I don't think like a lot of movies have done that. That would have been a really cool way to do it.
I think that would have been cool. I think it would have also allowed for more focus on the rest of the world and characters rather than himself. I think that would have been cool. I don't know. I think it's kind of fun. It would have been fun to see a not entirely silent protagonist by any means, but like a quieter protagonist just sort of reflecting on and dealing with the rest of what's around him and letting everybody else do the talking. That would have been interesting. Also, I've seen arguments that I kind of agree with on, people say like, oh, just hearing Charles Martinet's version of Mario probably would have been really great to listen to. There's 2 points here. One, his vocal range is insane. So he still could have done Mario. He could have maybe toned it down a little bit, even if a little bit, right? Because his vocal range is insane. Like, he could have totally done this. 2, anyone watch Despicable Me? Because Gru's voice is also just throughout the entire movie, and it's also just a weird, really grating accent.
That's
but
true.
People don't really complain about that.
Yeah.
So I really don't think it would have been much different, personally. Plus, we already would have been familiar with it, so it's like
I know
we're
some
already more
people would
comfortable
have
with it.
been frustrated with another voice actor. If it would have just like been someone that sounded like Charles Martinet,
A little bit more.
I know at that point
at
you go,
least a
why
little
not
bit,
just
yeah.
hire Charles Martinet then?
Yeah.
And so like that's where I lean towards too. Like I would rather that. But
I do agree. I'm like, why Chris Pratt?
Yeah.
Of all the voice actors or actors in general, because I know people don't care about voice actors in Hollywood.
Other
they
people
just
have
care
done the
about
Joker's
actors.
voice, but they all try to sound like Mark Hamill.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, and like even if you watch the trailer, you'll see, there's Jack Black's Bowser, and at first I was a little hesitant. I'm just like, okay, I trust Jack Black, like he could probably do it, but he doesn't. Like he makes a Bowser voice. He sounds like Bowser. It's a little bit low, it's a little bit rough, it's kind of intimidating. And you're just like, then even when you hear Toad, it's Keegan-Michael Key. And they do pitch it, I think, a little bit. I may be wrong, but like he
Definitely
sounds pretty.
And even
that sounds
Bowser,
fun.
they probably do something to a degree.
It probably, yes, but it's like for those, I'm just, it seems to fit. Whereas Mario just sounds like Chris Pratt talking. And it's just
with
like,
a Brooklyn accent.
why?
Slightly Brooklyn.
Ever so slight, though. It's like, really...
Why would you ever call back to the 90s movie? They're from Brooklyn and that, but that was terrible.
The 90s movie. It's like that was kind of the original concept for Mario.
Yeah. Mario has had the same voice for almost 40 years, though. Maybe 30 years.
True. Yeah, I don't know.
Weird
Since
to
the
change.
90s.
Yeah, I agree. That's probably the most disappointing part of the trailer, but maybe we will see more of him voice act and more trailers, and it will be better. Maybe this was just kind of a bad example.
I will say the rest of it looks amazing. I mean,
the rest of it, animation looks really good. The penguins, I'm so glad they brought the penguins back. I hope there's some sort of
the jokes about throwing them off the cliff are hilarious.
Exactly. I'm like, wait, that's so fun. I think it's gonna be my hope for this movie. Honestly, is I don't really care about the story. Story's probably gonna be bad. Honestly, story's probably gonna be really bad or very basic, and that's
and they're probably gonna market the toads or the Goombas like the Minions, which I'm
but you're probably right. But I think what would be really interesting is to see all these different worlds that we've seen in Mario, all these different places. People kind of like looked at that original poster and sort of dug into it and saw on his bag or something, like there's something he's holding that has like New Donk City representation, the Egypt area from both from like Odyssey, right? And I'm just like, it'd be so cool to like have him go to all these places that we're familiar with from the games. Like, I don't necessarily expect him to go to different galaxies like in Super Mario Galaxy or anything.
Right.
But it'd be really cool to like hear references. Yeah, or if like, if they even reference like Isle Delfino, even if they don't go there, but if they like go to any of those other areas.
He can walk to the castle and a painting can just kind of be waving in the side and he kind of looks over.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I just, that's kind of what
like you see it like water.
That's kind of what I hope. I look forward to the world building aspect is what I should say. Is like the actual world, what it looks like, how it kind of connects with each other. Because again, every Mario game so far, a lot of them kind of have this separated feel where it's like they're, there's the Mushroom Kingdom, but then there's also all these other places, and that kind of changes per game.
And then you get games like the RPG games that have like all the story too. So it's like
Mario games. Yeah,
I'm hoping they lean into some of that because those Mario, like all those RPG games, the Mario and Luigi games have like a lot of story to them too, which is cool.
There's a lot of opportunity there. The super epic orchestration of the Mario theme made me cringe a little bit, but besides that, I am still excited to hear the music in this.
Yeah, they're having like the original composer and stuff like mix some stuff in there too, which is cool.
Yeah, but overall, I'm pretty excited about the movie. I just want to see more. I do.
Yeah, I think we need to see more too. Like, I'm kind of the mind that like, yes, Chris Pratt is not the best idea, but also at this point, I'm like, what else were we gonna do? What else were y'all gonna do anyway?
Yeah.
Then you get the Hollywood side of like, I'm sure there's stuff Nintendo wanted to do, but then Illumination and whoever they're working with, they know they know how things work more than Nintendo specifically does. So I feel like there's a reason that I feel like we're missing, or we don't know that they didn't have Charles do it. Which, like, I get the argument that's like, oh yeah, he probably could have done it. But I'm like, there's probably a reason that
maybe it's a different Mario.
No, I don't think that is. But I mean, I'm just like, there's definitely like a behind the scenes reason. I feel like not that something's wrong with Charles Martinet. It's just that it's a Hollywood reason.
Yeah,
which also sucks.
Chris Pratt is probably one of the highest paid animation voices right now.
But true. But they could have also got somebody different.
I just think it's just still sad again how it's like, I really do think it has to do entirely with the marketing. Even though a Mario movie I think would have popped off anyway. Either way,
they were like, we need a big name.
Yeah, and that's what makes me sad because like, again, there's this whole cultural thing of like, in these really big animated movies, putting celebrities there that are usually in like real life, acting roles and not actual voice actors who are really, really good at their job. It's like, why not get the voice actors, but they don't want the voice actors because regular schmucks and children don't recognize those names.
See, I could make the argument for the Sonic movie and be like, oh, why didn't they get Roger Craig Smith? You know, like, I could easily make that argument, but also I'm like,
it just makes me a little sad.
You know, like
we need to respect more voice actors. Like as a society, we live in a society that doesn't respect voice actors.
No, it's true though. Like I think it's amazing that they had the Tails voice actress still there for Sonic. So it's like. It does suck to see stuff like that happening, which is like, oh, that's awesome. But then you get stuff like this where it's like, oh, that's a total Hollywood movie.
But it's true. It's like, I think, is another example of the differences between Sega and Nintendo.
Yep.
Especially the Sonic team, specifically, and
does
Sega.
What Nintendo?
Yes. But it's like, I feel like Nintendo is still just like, they have like this, old mindset with their games and like with what they want with their movies and things. They're just like, oh, well, we have to have big actors because no one will watch the movie otherwise. And we need to, we can't support fan projects.
Another Mario movie, I think, is huge anyway.
Yeah, it's like we can't support, fan projects because they're going to play those games instead of our games that we want them to pay for, and it's like stealing. So we're going to, crack down on those.
People.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Sega listens to their audience so many times, and they're greatly respected for it because it's like, even back when the whole Sonic design debacle, everyone freaked out. They changed it, and we really liked it. Again, like hiring people who work on their fan games to make really awesome, cool games that people love, and then again bringing back the original voice actress for Tails. Like, people popped off for that, and people really liked it. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, clearly listening to your fans works. Clearly respecting voice actors works. Do what Sega's doing, but unfortunately Nintendo will not. They never will.
I didn't include this in the notes anywhere, but the producers were asked for Sega, or for Sonic, whether or not it was a marketing ploy. Like, it's been years, admit it now. It was a marketing ploy. And they said that it was not. They did actually think that was good. They said that it was the luckiest thing they've ever done. Or they just said, we are lucky. We got really lucky.
No way.
Because it ended up being such a positive thing that they made this terrible Sonic design and then listened to.
And you know what's sad too is like I would have still probably gone to see that Sonic movie anyway, even with that
probably.
Yeah, like, I would have still went to see it.
It wouldn't have been as good.
I still need to watch the second Sonic movie.
Oh,
maybe Nintendo's second was so good. Maybe Nintendo will see the outcry and listen. Probably not, but
I think it's too big of a thing to change. Like, I mean, I don't know.
And so is redesigning Sonic. The design that
that's true.
People said it was impossible, and that's why I thought it was a marketing ploy, and I still kind of do, even though he says it's not. Why wouldn't you admit it at this point? I feel like.
Maybe they had one on backup or something.
It was an artist for Detective Pikachu, said that because of the way that they have to like place the stuff for the animations, that it would be completely impossible to have redesigned it the way they did. But they did it, and that was probably very expensive for them to do. So,
definitely.
I hope it paid off, though. I think it paid off. I mean,
yeah.
Otherwise, who knows if there would have been a sequel? They're making a third one.
Right.
People really like it.
Give Chris Pratt his paycheck.
Yeah, that's right.
Hire Charles Martinet. Take the loss, and I'm gonna watch the movie regardless. I guess they don't. They're not losing my money, but
same. I'm still excited for it, despite everything.
Yeah, that was my one thing. I was in love with it, and then he talked, and I went, my smile just kind of fell.
I am almost feeling like the Charles Martinet people who are still upset sound like or OG Star Wars fans who like hate the sequels and prequels.
Maybe
but it's 30 years of history. I do sound like a Star Wars fan.
I guess it's just. It's an established character who's had one single established voice for almost the entirety of the character, and so that's honestly, I think it's a little bit more reasonable.
Cartoons. There was cartoons back in the day where he,
but this doesn't look like the cartoons. It looks like the video game.
That's true.
Yeah.
Mario had other voices.
Yeah. Like I said, I would probably be more okay if they tried going for the sound. But it's like if you made Batman and then voiced him with like a New York accent, because Gotham is in...
Watch Chris Pratt do some wahoos in there. Everybody's going to be happy if he does.
I mean, we probably should move on. But that was a thing. He was like, what does he say at the end of the trailer? It's not "Let's go," and it was like you couldn't even say "Let's go." Here we come. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he could have been like "Let's go" or "Let's go," and he's like "Here we come," and I was like, "Well, you're purposely making me mad."
Let's go.
Yeah. You're doing this on purpose.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Like, why are you mocking me? Anyways, we get into the TV.
Well, it's a big
stuff.
topic.
Speaking of mocking me, She-Hulk. We won't get into many details, but the penultimate episode has happened. It was a really good episode, but there's a little thing dealing with something from the trailers. Everyone knows that Daredevil was in this episode.
Yes.
It's not really a spoiler. It's something
they
they teased
literally
from the beginning.
showed part of a scene on their social media.
Yeah.
The day before he was on.
So I loved everything about it, but there's something that the previous shows were notorious for, and they teased that a little bit in this this episode, and they didn't like follow through. And it would have been cool to have done so.
I love that they did it that way.
But
I think it's funny.
Everything else in that episode is, I think, amazing. I think that they translated Daredevil, which is a very serious character, into this comedy setting really well. I don't think that he was overly.
They didn't compromise his character either.
Yeah, I think that they were able to do the kind of thing where he's like, is so serious it's funny situation. Yes. And so, for the most part, and so it was kind of like, it's funny that he is kind of Hulkish in a way. Hulk was like, he was so angry and like brutal that it was comical in the Marvel Avengers first one. He punches Thor, and it's like, of course he does that, but it was silly, even though he wasn't being silly. He was being monstrous in character. Situational. They did a really good job.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I loved all of that. There were a few one-liners that he had, but I didn't feel like they were out of character at all. He seems like a Daredevil that's done some healing.
The suit is so well designed and well crafted.
Yes.
Yeah.
The suit looks good. I like that for She-Hulk. I saw a mock-up of a black and red suit, which would also be comic accurate. It was black with red lining, and that would be pretty amazing too. But
we'll probably get that in Born Again.
Yeah.
Gosh, which this makes me even more excited for Born Again. Like, this episode went above and beyond, especially for me as a fan, because there was things halfway through the season where I'm like, ooh, I hope this happens. Like, I know we're still waiting for Daredevil, and they actually went and did it, and I was like, oh, yeah, right on.
It also teased, so there's the next episode of the season finale. It was teasing some stuff in that. There are teases for future Marvel stuff that I was pretty shocked that they kind of just threw out there, and they very nonchalantly threw it out there. They didn't act like it was a big deal.
I was gonna say, I'll probably have to ask you what that was.
And it was. I was like, what you can't just say that and then walk away.
I was geeking out the whole time over Daredevil stuff. I was not worried about anything else from that whole.
All around, really great episode.
Yep, it was.
Yeah, I think that I would say that it pays off the rest of the show, and I'm not saying the rest of the show is bad. I've been enjoying it. If you don't like the stupid humor, you might not. It wouldn't pay off if you don't enjoy the humor, but I've enjoyed the humor thus far.
I think there's a lot of people that do not, and I don't know if it's just, oh, I want more fight scenes or I want more superhero stuff, and it's like, that's not what we came here for.
Yeah, it's not what the show is.
We came here for some shenanigans, because that's kind of what She-Hulk is. Like,
we've talked about this in the past. I think that Marvel's going to have a struggle with that and with their audience moving forward. I think the more that they branch out in genre, it's going to create more divisiveness between their viewers, because not every Marvel fan is a sitcom fan. Doctor Strange kind of struggled with that because not all Marvel fans are horror fans.
Right.
So we'll see. It's weird because it's this thing of like, you have to, the FOMO, you can't miss a Marvel thing, but if you don't like something, you kind of like it's not fair to make you watch it.
It speaks to like the fact that like it's a thing where me and my mom and my cousin every Thursday morning, because I have Thursdays off, we get up, have coffee, have breakfast, and watch this show. I am not doing that with Rings of Power or Andor, just because I feel like those shows got off to a pretty slow start. Like, but this is the one that like I've watched every week. And I'll get to those when this is over, this week. But I'm just like this is the one that I'm like, nope, I'm watching.
I will segue from that to Rings of Power. Shelley, have you finished it?
Well, I've watched up to the current episode.
Is that not the finale? I thought it was the finale.
There's one more.
Close.
I'm gonna have to look up now. I definitely thought. Anyways, really, really good. Last few episodes.
And I hear it's been getting good, which makes me excited to watch it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would agree. The show starts off slow, but I think we're not getting to a point where things are.
But I also liked what I saw of the first few episodes anyway. So it's like. It's not like I was disliking the show. I'm just like, this is kind of slow for me right now. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a hater of the show. I'm an enjoyer. I'm a show enjoyer. Not a huge defender, I would say, but I'm liking it. I
kind of treat Lord of the Rings fans like Star Wars fans.
I was one off.
Like
we have one more episode.
True. I was correct. Yeah, there's one more.
October 14th. Yeah. I definitely thought the episode last week. So for viewers, it would have been like 2 weeks ago, or listeners, was like the penultimate because it was such a big episode. Big battle sequences and stuff. It was very high budgeted.
I mean, that's cool. The stuff that they said was going to be in it. They said there was going to be some big stuff.
Yeah. It was super cool. That makes a lot of sense. I thought this was a weird ending to a season. I was like, okay, I guess that's cool. That makes me happy. I'm glad that wasn't it, because there was a lot of stuff that was just like teased, but it was kind of just like, I don't know. It would have been crazier to have ended the season 2 episodes ago. Would have been a rough way to end it for sure. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I like it. It's fun. Yeah. Shelley, what else have you been watching?
I finally started Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
Season 5, latest season.
Yeah.
Finally. Yeah, it was so funny because like my husband and I, we were just like watching like TMNT and Rings of Power pretty much. And he's just like, I'm just like, man, it's so funny how we're just like not watching any of their shows that we told ourselves we would. He's like, yeah, I'm not interested in them. I'm like, well, Cobra Kai's out, And he's like, wait, I didn't even realize that was out yet. And I'm like, well, he's like, that one I do care about. So that's why we started watching it. Not done yet. I think we have like 2 or 3 more episodes to go. But yeah, it's a good show. It's wild. I keep having to like, I've recommended this show to so many people at this point. I've recommended it to my parents. I recommended it to my sister, and I recommended one of my other friends, and they all love it. They're all obsessed with it now. And I tried to convince another one of my friends this weekend to pick it up and watch it. It's just so funny because she's like, yeah, that's the freaking Karate Kid show, right? You're telling me it's good? I'm just like, I know it sounds crazy. It doesn't deserve to be this good.
See, I felt that way when I started watching it. Everybody's like, are you sure? You're pulling my leg, aren't you?
Like, you have to be kidding me.
I'm like, it's actually good.
Yeah, I think,
It's cheesy, but it's good.
I won't say anything about the season for spoilers, but I'm enjoying it. I feel like for a while there I wasn't. I think there was a while in which I was just like, because everyone in the show's so dumb. There's only a couple characters at this point who aren't just dumb and that I'm not mad at. So that was kind of frustrating to watch. Where I'm just like, man, I don't like anybody in this show, except for like a couple people, but they keep me going. So, but I think finally now there's kind of reached a turning point, if you will, to sort of progress to the rest of the season. So that would be really interesting to watch.
They're self-aware, as like they even call out to themselves for not having conversations and not doing certain things that that a lot of it would have been fixed if they would have just done in the first place.
I know, it's always really funny too when you have like the kids like that, the younger generation, but then also the older generation, and it's like the kids definitely act like kids, like teenagers, and they're really dumb a lot of the times because of it. But then you also have the adults who are just like, well, like, this and that, and trying to help them out, but then they also just fall into some of the same dumb habits.
Yep.
And
And then
very
sometimes
funny.
the kids make actually better decisions than the adults. Or
Exactly.
Like,
They're just
make...
like, I'm gonna make the mature decision, and then the adult's like,
that's kind of real life in some ways, though.
Yeah.
Like...
I was so happy in the first season when the mom was like, "Has anyone called the police?" And my wife had been saying the entire show. She's like, "Why hasn't someone called the police?"
Yeah, I think, and it's cool too how they just continue to pull these characters from these like, different Karate Kid movies, and I at least appreciate too that they always provide enough context for you. They're just like, oh, here's the flashback, here's who this person is, so now you know, or they some line of dialogue, some thing, so you like have some connection. Because for me, I still have only ever watched the original Karate Kid, and then the remake, but the remake is not canon to this. Like, it's not connected at all. So that's what's cool. I think maybe eventually, maybe after the show is done, I will maybe actually watch those movies. I know they're not good movies, but I think it'll be really funny to like be like, oh, here's this character, look, he's all young, and like, oh, here's this character, there she is. Like, I just think that'd be kind of funny to do eventually.
Oh yeah.
I think you'll find like the cheesiness in the show is translated well from the movies. So
gotcha. Yeah.
It'll kind of like they
good.
very much feel like they're in the same universe.
The original movies are
That's
just
good.
as ridiculous in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. So anyway, that's Cobra Kai.
Cool. Well, we'll get into TV news then. I guess we'll start with Velma. Bit controversial to some. It is a rated R Scooby-Doo TV show where spinoff where Scooby is not. Does he exist even, or is he just?
They haven't even made a reference to any Scooby. Like, they really have not.
Okay, so Scooby.
Scooby
in the teases.
Scooby-Doo is not gonna
in the universe.
Scooby-Doo's not gonna be in the show. It's already been confirmed.
Oh, really?
There is no
But that
dog.
doesn't mean he doesn't exist in the universe.
I guess you're right, but they said it.
That's
what they told. That's what I saw on the internet.
They're trying
It's
to
always
Harley
100%
Quinn Scooby-Doo is what it sounds like. They're trying to like.
It's like Harley Quinn, but cheaper looking in animation. I hate to say.
Yeah, I don't like the animation style. I hate to say as well, but it looks really. It almost. This is going to sound really harsh, and it's not actually as harsh as it. It's not actually that bad. It kind of reminds me of those NFT animations, right? the NFT show that they tried to do. That animation was horrid. It's definitely not nearly as bad as that, but it reminded me of it, which I was like, oh no, like why is it reminding me of that? I don't know what it was, but it was something about the animation. I'm just like, I don't know if I can watch a show.
I think I haven't seen any of this from like I've seen mostly, especially like minorities talk about it on TikTok, and I think they're the ones who are most upset with it because it's like, okay, literally you're just changing race, which I have no doubt that like we were saying like Mindy Kaling and stuff, like the actors that are probably in it are probably going to be great. They're probably going to be awesome. Yeah. But it's just like I think people want more originality instead of being like, oh, let's change this race on a character.
It's
so
such
I think
a
for a lot
weird
of people
like.
right now,
If you're not gonna have Scooby-Doo in it, then why make it?
It's very much a race thing, I think, where people are upset about that, and it's like the people that have a right to be upset anyway are upset about it. And then like Shaggy's just like Norville now or something. Like,
I mean, that's supposed. That's his original.
Just calling him. Yeah,
that's his original name. I think
that's his name. Like, but it's just like people are like, "What are you guys doing?" Like,
yeah, he'll get his name. We'll find the. So it says Velma is an adult animated comedy series telling the origin story of Velma Dinkley, the unsung and underappreciated brains of the Scooby-Doo Mystery Inc. gang. This original and humorous, it's not original, humorous spin unmasks the complex and colorful past of one of America's most beloved mystery solvers.
See, and you just said it. It's not original. Is the key is the thing that people are sitting on.
Yeah, I don't care too much about the ethnicity stuff. They're cartoon characters. It's not. Yeah, I mean,
it's just one of those things. Like, I'm sure it's gonna be funny and everybody's gonna be awesome. But it's just one of those things. Like, especially like seeing on TikTok, is like seeing the people like that. It is kind of a problem. Which I'm like, oh wow, okay. Like I never would have known that.
I think
the humor bugs me. Shelley, you kind of mentioned this. The beginning of the trailer. There's a trailer, by the way. We just sort of go in on this.
Trailer.
it's Velma being the viewer and complaining that the Jetsons, I can't remember, Judy Jetson, that there's, in her universe, there's a show about Judy Jetson that is a rated R spinoff, and it's not going to be accurate to the Jetsons. And it's very much like the writers are telling the viewers that they're stupid for not liking it.
And it's done by way of stream as well, so it's like they're throwing meta on top of meta. They're throwing meta on top of meta.
Yeah,
and
it's a weird thing to insult your viewers for not liking what you made.
It's too heavy. It's very heavy in
agree.
like a bad way.
It's just, and also I think people are growing a little tired of meta humor.
Mm-hmm.
Just in general, because that was the number one complaint I saw. It wasn't even like, it wasn't the race thing, it wasn't like anything. It was mostly what I saw online, and I agree with, is like, what meta humor is not really that funny anymore. I think it was, for a while, it was pretty original. Like, I think even there's like some shows where it's like they did like meta humor. Like, I know like Deadpool's obviously huge with meta humor, but I feel like that's also a little bit different. It's a little bit more constrained to
Harley Quinn
like
is
Marvel
great
and
at meta humor. Like, they are so good at doing it.
But it's like there's a difference between acknowledging meta and, again, like what you're saying, Cody, about like insulting your audience versus actually making a joke that has meta aspects. And this just simply it just isn't funny. You're right. It's like, it just kind of feels more like an insult to the audience of like, oh, you're gonna make fun of us because we're doing something different and original, haha, rather than like making a joke that's actually funny. Like, that's what I mean. It's like a meta joke is only a joke if it's funny. Like, you can just acknowledging, just breaking the fourth wall in itself is not funny. It's unexpected. It can be surprising, and but that doesn't mean it's funny.
We talked about Teen Titans Go versus Teen Titans, I think, last week.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a similar situation in that where someone is talking about how great the original Teen Titans were. And they're like doing it as a joke of like, none of that matters. Like, the storytelling and stuff. This is just some geek. And he's like, this like stereotypical, like dirty looking dude. He's, like grandma's basement style nerd. And it's just kind of, I was like, really? Like, that's me that you're...
Yeah, and it's like, even in, again, I'm so TMNT pilled right now. So in that movie, Turtles in Time, they have, the 80s Raphael, a couple times throughout the movie, will break the fourth wall. He will speak directly to the viewer, he'll just look at the camera and say something. And and that in itself isn't the joke. It becomes a running joke because it happens numerous times, and because one of the other characters, I forget, there's a villain, one of the other villain characters keeps like noticing that he does this, and he keeps like looking at the camera but clearly not seeing anything. He's just like, who is Raphael? Like, who is this guy talking to? And then eventually he's like, what? Who are you talking to? He like picks him up and like shakes him. He's like, what are you doing? Who are you talking to?
There's a little bit of that in She-Hulk too, but it's barely noticeable. Like,
yeah, but it's like, and obviously it's a very simple joke, but that's what I mean. It's like, you still have to have a joke if you're going to be meta or like breaking the fourth wall. Like, you still need something that's like kind of amusing, right? You can't just acknowledge it or especially insult your audience, because that just doesn't make any sense.
That's what I love about Harley Quinn, is like Harley Quinn is just all about insulting like every Batman character there is, and like poking at like their like weaknesses and like their
issues,
like,
the ridiculousness of them.
Yes, and it's flipping amazing, and so it's like, and that's why I enjoy.
And there's a difference of like meta humor and then social commentary, and I feel like
that's
Harley
true.
Quinn has a lot
true.
of social commentary.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
it's like, nope, all these characters have issues.
That's where
like, who knows? Maybe the show will be really good, because I know like Mindy, like she's gonna be the head writer or like one of the lead writers. It's like gonna be like mostly her show, and like she's so funny, she's so brilliant. So like, who knows? Maybe it could be really good. But it's like, also, I don't really know who the audience is for this show. It's not gonna be me. Like, I just know I'm not gonna watch it.
I don't think anybody knows who the audience. Like, from what I've seen, I don't think anybody knows who
I don't know.
It's people that grew up with Scooby-Doo and then are adults now and want, like, I'm sure that they thought that they could Family Guy something, because Family Guy's been around forever.
Like I don't know.
Or Harley Quinn, for that matter. Scooby-Doo's been around since the 70s, right?
Adultifying Scooby-Doo has happened before. There was that those comics. They made some
Scooby
comics.
Apocalypse. Those were
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, and like that's essentially the same idea where it's like,
Yep.
aging him up or, making it a little bit more mature. And
Mhm.
I don't necessarily know if that was a really good comic or not, but like that's just an example of like it's happened before. This isn't, even what you said before, Cody. This isn't original.
Man, if they literally just made Scooby Apocalypse into an animated show,
that would be pretty sick. Cause
that would be amazing.
even then, the idea about that, it's like they're older, it's more mature, but there's also like a new thing going on, and it's like interesting. There's this apocalypse. There's like every character's a little bit different, but they're all different in a little bit of the same way, right? They're all like the amount of difference they are, right? And then you have this show that looks like again, it's kind of confusing as to like what are they wanting to do, or are they wanting to change, what are they not? Yeah.
And for people like. I feel like they're targeting they're not trying to target the original Scooby audience. I feel like they're trying to target younger folks, but it's like most of us who watched it that are younger watch reruns of it, or like what's the new Scooby Doo and like a pup named Scooby Doo, like all reruns of
so
stuff.
many
and,
good shows out there.
So I'm just like, okay, like I don't know.
Yeah. It's weird to have. It's like they said the origin story, but this is a Velma Dinkley, but it's not.
It doesn't even look like an origin story.
It's not the Velma Dinkley that. Like the show from the shows, it can't be.
Are they trying to do the Buzz Lightyear thing to be like, oh, this is what the show was based on, kind of a thing?
That would be crazy.
Let's stick with HBO Max. There is a trailer that I'm moving on. I'm excited for the show, but I'm not excited for the trailer. The trailer was kind of it's very spooky and very Halloween-esque. But I want Titans, and the trailer is just a cult. Probably Brother Blood, because I know that's gonna be the main villain of this show. They've
already shown the design, yeah.
Azarath Metrion Zinthos, and then there's a hand coming out of, I assume, blood, or maybe the Lazarus Pits.
Ooh.
But it's all red, so it looks like blood.
Yeah, it's probably blood. Mm-hmm.
So that's not interesting to me. I don't know. It was like, okay. What is interesting is that part 1 of season 4 will be premiering November 3rd. On HBO Max, and that's news.
Soon.
Yeah, that's
extremely soon.
Also, I
wonder if they're gonna bank
am I wrong?
On what?
That's also when another show comes out. We can talk about Titans a little bit more. What were you gonna say, LJ?
I was gonna say, I wonder if they're trying to bank on the Gotham Knights hype for the video game.
Oh, maybe.
Because the video game's going to be out on the 27th, so they're going to be like, yeah, people are going to want this, so...
Oh my gosh, I forgot about the video game.
Yeah.
Which is going to be awesome. I'm so
Brandon Thwaites, who plays Nightwing, also said that he'd be down to make a movie. He said it's very possible, were his words.
Like a Titans movie?
A Nightwing movie.
Or a Nightwing.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, a Gotham Knights movie would be awesome, too.
Nightwing would be interesting, but I don't... Yeah, it would have to be, I guess, in this universe. I don't know. DCE is weird. But there's another show coming out November 3rd. And it'll probably get all of my attention, and Titans will have to wait.
What's the other show?
The other show is The Dragon Prince.
Yes,
oh,
sir.
Duh.
Dragon Prince. Absolutely.
I was like, what is it?
Season 4, official trailer. Writers from Avatar The Last Airbender are work on this show. If you've not seen The Dragon Prince before, you need to watch it. It's so good.
I'm in season 3 now, and it's so good.
Yeah, and definitely don't watch this trailer if you haven't seen the other seasons.
Oh yeah, no. That would be
definitely don't.
No.
Just,
I'm staying.
Good.
I'm staying away from it until I finish everything.
I would also recommend to anyone who has watched up to what's out and have not already, please read Through the Moon. It will provide context to you that probably will be explained in this new season, but I would just recommend seeing it, reading it, just because it's more stuff and it takes place.
Probably grab it on sale on Comixology or something.
Exactly, and they're still releasing comics. I think they released one somewhat recently, or they will soon, of little Soren and Claudia going on like some sort of adventure or something. I don't remember what it's called, but it's like them as like kids. It's like a story about them, and I'm just that's
cool.
cute. I think they're just getting
my favorite characters.
I know, so like I think they're gonna keep rolling out these sort of graphic novels and comics and stuff, which I think is pretty cool.
That's awesome.
There's a time jump That's probably all we could say about the trailer.
Right.
But it looks good. It looks amazing.
that.
I don't know if I love all designs, but I will get used to them.
Yeah,
Be
I'm happy that they made them older. It's not just a time jump and then they look the same.
I agree. That is worse.
Like they could have Ash Ketchum it,
some
and
Yeah.
it's cool to see. It's cool to see them
Ash Ketchum has not aged.
grow up, especially the young king, young prince. What's his name?
Ezrin.
Ezrin.
That's true. Yeah, he looks like way taller.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
He's grown up, which makes sense. I mean, he was so little. But yeah, I don't know. So that comes out November 3rd. Trailer's real good, I think. And that is everything. Are you guys geeking out about anything else this week?
I think I'm good.
I am. One quick thing.
Okay.
It's just the Big House 10 big tournament, big Smash tournament happened this last weekend, and
Ooh.
while I do play more Ultimate, the Big House is way more of a Melee tournament. And this Melee tournament was really significant because it really had all the top talent in Melee. Pretty much, like, it was pretty much going into it. It was, supposed to be like the Melee tournament of like one of the big ones, right? It's like this is going to determine who's the best at the game right now, because is it Mango, is it Hungrybox, is it Kodorin? Like, it's all these people. Like, who knows? And then the winner of this tournament actually ended up being a Yoshi player.
Nice.
And if you know Melee, Yoshi is not necessarily low tier, but incredibly hard to play well. Like, if you play him like a normal character, you will not win, essentially. But the way that Amza, this Yoshi player from Japan, and I've been following for a while because I'm a Yoshi player in Ultimate.
Yeah.
And different games, but like I've always really, really enjoyed watching Amza play. He has incredible tech chases, incredible tech in general that just makes Yoshi look so cool and so fun. He like does these like egg ledge trumps and like he just goes off. It's crazy,
all these
but like
that you're like, how did he do that?
it's
Probably.
dude, it's like crazy.
Yeah.
Like, he works so hard at the game. He's been playing the game for an incredibly long time as well. Over 8 years, but I think even longer than that.
That's like I've been watching Fortnite streams on occasion with my cousin, and I'm just like, man, these people, like, I wish I could do some of this stuff. Like,
Exactly.
So
yeah.
like I get that when you watch like an experienced player, you're just like, man.
Yeah, like, it's crazy. Yes, and it's like, honestly,
Yeah.
he's been playing the game for so long. He's the only like top Yoshi player. No one else plays Yoshi, because he's not top tier at
I
all.
love that.
And he's never won a major until Big House. So he won. He beat Mango, who I think was the favorite to win. I mean, I was cheering for Amza the whole time. Obviously, I'm a huge Amza fan. He's probably one of my favorite Melee players at this point. Maybe my top Melee player. But this is also unprecedented, not only because it's his first major to win, it is the first time a Yoshi has won a major in the entirety of Melee's existence.
That's awesome.
So Melee's been out for 21 years. Over 20 years, a Yoshi has not won a single major.
See, it just goes to show, like, this is why I hate, like, meta.
Yeah.
In
and
games.
tiers and stuff.
Yeah, because it's like anybody who
can
wants to be
win,
deadly with a character, like, or whatever, you can do it. Like, you can.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I agree. I agree fully. It's like, hey, if you're committed to a character, go at it, work hard, and you can do well. Like, no one now can say, like, oh, Yoshi's low tier, Yoshi's like whatever, because a lot of the basis that's like, oh yeah, well, maybe he would get top 8, but he would never win a major. And he won a major, and not only a major, like the major. Like, this is
awesome.
one of the biggest Melee tournaments in its history, which is crazy because, again, it's over 21 years of history, and the fact that, so that's what's really cool about Melee and following Melee is that, like, even though I don't follow it that closely, like, the fact that it still feels like, there's so much energy in the game, 21 years going, and there's this still, first Yoshi's won. I think that even before a Sheik has won a major, I think that's what I read somewhere, and, like, lots of people play Sheik, or at least, any single player Sheik that doesn't just have Sheik as, like, a secondary, for example. So that's just, like, really, really freaking cool. So
That's awesome.
Sure, that's definitely something I was geeking out about this weekend.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Cool. Mine is less cool. I got, it's not even really that geeky, but I got no bull shoes. I don't know why I was trying to put them in the camera. You guys can't see them, listeners. They are a fitness shoe that are kind of pricey, but they're super nice. and they've got little rope climbing things on them, and
Nice.
yeah,
That's cool.
I am geeking out.
Like carabiners?
No, yeah, that's no. So for rope climbing, you need like a grip on the inside of the shoe for the rope to catch on.
Oh, gotcha.
And so
okay.
it's like not on it's on your sole, but it's actually on like the wall of your, like the side wall of your shoe.
Wow.
Gotcha.
And these kind of catch the rope in a way that allows you to
Cool.
have traction.
That's neat.
Oh.
Yeah, they're like a big CrossFit shoe, and I don't do a lot of CrossFit. I do every once in a while, but they're just really good shoes for workouts in general.
Cool.
So yeah, I'm stoked. They're super super nice. I just got them.
Nice.
Also, I kind of forgot about this. I will be out the next few weeks. You guys will be hosting without me.
I was gonna say, I think we decided we were not having a podcast on recording on Halloween.
Yeah, not recording on Halloween, and then the weeks prior, I will be working, so that I have time off for the Renaissance
So like
Festival in
next week,
Texas.
I think. And then, well, actually, I think we got
Yeah.
So like next week and then Halloween. Yep.
Yeah, you guys, no, 2 weeks. You have 2 weeks of recording and then Halloween.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was confused.
It's all good. So yeah, I will be gone for a little bit, but that's okay. There's a lot of Geeks and Grace stuff that I should be working on as well.
Dude's been on it.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of little things. Don't get too excited.
Mhm.
I just made on Instagram. If you go to our bio, it needed to be updated. It's been a while, and so now it's got a little landing page for all the social media, kind of like a link in bio, but I made it
Like a link tree kind of, except
Linktree.
on our website.
yeah.
Yeah.
I literally just made one for my own stuff too the other day.
Oh, nice.
That's funny. I was like, the timing of that is hilarious.
Yeah, it was time. We needed to.
Yeah.
I posted. Oh, I should have put this at the top of the podcast. Oh well, it's fine. geeksundergrace.com/prayer, and if you need prayer, I really should put this at the top of the podcast. It's
Right. I was gonna say, write it down in the notes, and then I'll mention it next.
Yeah, definitely. So you can go to geeksundergrace.com/prayer. We're going to be
prayer
posting
system.
every week, like offering prayer, and you of course can do that in the Facebook comments of that post or whatever. But some things that we've gotten already are just a little bit more. You probably just don't want people commenting on it, kind of thing. Even if it's not so discreet that you don't want anyone reading it, there's a prayer wall that can be seen as well if you sign into geeksundergrace.com/prayer. It's through an app called Nucleus. So there's prayer wall. People can read that and they couldn't like comment on it, which I think would be good to do. And then even if it's more discreet than that, you don't really want people knowing, you can just do a request simply to our prayer team, and then that's completely confidential. We aren't going to share things that are shared specifically to us on the prayer wall. My hope with it, and we'll see, is that we'll get some prayers on the prayer wall, and then maybe do like a prayer night of some kind. If it's, I don't know whether it would be in Discord or on a Twitch stream or something.
That reminds me of what my church did. Is they would take all the prayer requests they got from Sunday, and then when they met as a staff every Tuesday, they would just do pages of prayers each in groups and stuff. So
yeah,
that'd be cool.
It's gonna be awesome. I'm really really excited about it. We got a few people on our little prayer team, and yeah, I think it's just a really cool way to impact our community. It's kind of a blessing too. It's really cool to see people coming in and actually using it. We've only had it live for a couple days, and a lot of people have been praying already. So
That's awesome.
yeah, if you need prayer at all, and sometimes there's certain prayers that you just you want complete strangers to hear about rather than
Or even just say, hey, I can't really give details, but I really need prayer.
yeah, and you could definitely do that too. I'm seeing some stuff that I don't think that people would share with their pastor, which is
That's
you should be able to trust your pastor, but there's always just kind of that fear of judgment, I guess. And so
yeah, I mean,
you could have someone anonymous praying for you. I think that it's I can see how that would make someone feel a little bit safer to share that, and it's good. I mean, it's a good first step in conquering some of those things.
it is.
So again, there's a few different ways you could comment on the posts themselves. You could do a prayer request just to the staff or the prayer wall, do know that the prayer wall is relatively public. Anyone that signs in can see that prayer wall. So you know. And again, that link is geeksundergrace.com/prayer. We'll end it there. LJ, where can they find you at?
You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at LJ the Paladin.
And Shelley?
You can find me on Twitter at TheShellshock24.
And you can find me on Instagram at Cody Armour. Keep gaming, keep praying, and God bless.
Bye.
Peace.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Geeks Under Grace podcast. We love hearing from you, so feel free to ask us questions or just comment on the show by using the hashtag GUGcast on Twitter, or by joining the GUGcast questions channel in the Geeks Under Grace Discord. If you like this episode, consider leaving a review or rating of our show on your favorite podcast app. If you want even more Geeks Under Grace, you can always go to geeksundergrace.com. We love you all so much, so thank you for listening.